And please welcome Ben Moskowitz. Here he comes. Come on.
I don't usually like to see. Oh, I'll get closer. I don't usually like deceiving women in the act of courtship. It's I've seen enough romantic comedies to know that that doesn't really work out in your favor. You, after a slew of shenanigans, you usually have to make this big epic love confession and like in the rain and sometimes with a boombox. I don't even think they make those anymore. I don't need that kind of drama in my life. But in the course of trying to attract somebody, I have known to exaggerate the truth, and that has blown up in my face. I had just graduated from the Rochester Institute of Technology in Rochester, New York. Go Tigers! Woo! And I was living out my lease in my apartment up on Alexander Street and Park Avenue. It's the classy part of Rochester, if you guys don't know that. And it was the best apartment I ever had in my life. It used to be a ballroom. It had 18-foot ceilings and all this craft molding, and the biggest bathroom I ever seen. And I'm literally the biggest bathroom. I'm not using literally hyperbolically. I'm using literally. It was 80 square feet bathroom. And you can literally sleep in there, and it was great. And I loved it, and I was living out the lease and just finished my education. I figured, well, now I have this summer time, and I can try to explore things that I didn't do in higher college, and I try to expand myself as a personal person. I took up painting, which I wasn't very good at, and I took up jogging, and I decided that I wanted to become something like a coffee shop intellectual, like Rousseau or Camus, all those people on Friends, and the only problem is that I don't really like coffee at the time. So I would go there and I would order fancy teas at this local coffee shop, and I chose all the cool things like Darjeeling and Lady Grey and any tea I can see that was on the list. But the best part about going to this coffee shop was the barista. Her name was Kim, and she was a undefinable beauty. Like she changed her style all the time, and it was my favorite thing in the world. I just like things that I can't understand. I'm attracted to them. And I really, really wanted to, ask him out. And the problem is that I'm, what's that word? A coward. And I never could approach her. But, I'm a good guy. I like to chit-chat and stuff like that. So over the summer, we chit-chat back and forth. And, going back and forth. And I found out she wanted to go to FIT. And I was like, oh, like the Florida Institute of Technology? Because I'm from Florida? She's like, no, the Fashion Institute of Technology. You've ever heard of that? I'm like, oh, yeah, I've heard of that. I had never heard of the place before. I am from Florida. So I figured, oh, you're into fashion, so I should explore fashion. I can talk about the difference between plaid and gingham, and that's the most thing I know about it. And over the, I also talked about things about how I'm a good cook and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm a great cook. And she's like, oh, you want to show me? I'm like, okay. And like, wow, now all these things working out in the favor. You want to come onto my place, and I'll make you a nice dinner. And she said yes, and I'm like, oh, thank God. I didn't have to approach her or anything. So I'm planning this whole thing, and this is one thing I know about women is women like clean bathrooms. And so I spent the day scrubbing my bathroom clean and made it like this inferior palace for Athena herself. You can have a 5-course meal in this bathroom. It was beautiful. And I then made oyster Rockefellers and salmon-reduced risotto, poached, and it was great. And Ben can cook. Let me tell you, I can cook. I wasn't lying about that. And so she comes over, and she enjoys the oysters Rockefellers, adores the salmon, is amazed by how clean my bathroom is. She's like, yes. I'm like, all right. It's all working out for something. This is all good. This is good. So we're sitting on my couch, and we start watching some TV, and I come in there, and I try to make my move. That moment when you're trying to make the first kiss with a girl, and it's all silent. You don't know if she wants you and you want her, but it's you just come closer and closer, and I come in and I kiss her, and it's amazing, and but then she's like, no, stop. I'm like, oh, and I stop right in my tracks. I back away, because to me, no means hell no, back away. You're don't pass go, don't collect $200, because I'm kind of like a consent zealot, and it's the way my mom raised me, so I go, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm moving too fast. I'm like, I'm sorry. She's like, oh, no, and then she started apologizing. I'm like, no, and she's like, I'm sorry, I do this all the time. I try, like, I get really flirtatious with gay guys, and I just attract them to me. I'm like, gay? And she's like, she keeps apologizing. Yeah, it just keeps happening. I just feel really comfortable with them, and then I lead them, and I hope you don't mad at me. I'm like, well, good news, Kim. I'm not gay. And she's like, no, Ben, it's okay. I have lots of gay friends. You can be honest with me. It's like, I'm not accusing you of being homophobic. I'm accusing you of not being right about my sexuality. And, point of fact, if you say I have lots of gay friends, that's kind of a sign you being homophobic. But she's like, well, why are you using this? Just look at the way you sound. You always like ordering fancy teas in that bathroom. No straight man has a bathroom that clean. So there I was. I eventually convinced Kim that I wasn't gay, but she was too embarrassed to, go on the situation. So I said goodbye and walked back to her place, and I came home. And so lesson learned, it's great to make, oppress the ladies, but, not too much. Thank you.
That's Ben Moskowitz. Give it up.